vertical today. There's a reason for that, not just my normal reason. So let's make sure the live stream is on the right thing. And if you're new here, I will answer any question that you have. All right, so I'm going to be in some people's, vertical stuff. So hopefully we'll keep any students from going in here today. I'll give it a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to be on the second one. All right, so if my regulars don't want to watch this because it's vertical, I can understand. A tip that I heard, if you go through sptv.space, find my channel and go to my live there, you can watch this horizontal. My phone didn't give me a choice. It's been yelling at me about wanting to be vertical and it goes dark. I can do that when it's shady, but because it's sunny today, I had to go vertical so I could see the chat. And I have to use this phone because it's so freaking hot today. I had to put my hotspot phone in the cooler. So I was gonna not get the phone cooler yet because I thought it was gonna cool off. I was gonna wait till next season. So I see 3 people are here. Thank you for being here. If you're new and don't know what I'm doing, ask me any questions. I'll tell you exactly why I'm here. Scientology human traffics people. There's actually lawsuits in LA right now. Ex-members who have escaped that are suing the church and the leader David Miscavige for trafficking them from country to country. I'm not sure if that lawsuit is for minors, but I know there's another lawsuit that is. There's like 5 lawsuits going on right now for things like that. There's another lawsuit started on the woman, and I can never remember her name. She escaped in the trunk of a visitor's car and was in that trunk for 90 minutes until it stopped, and that person didn't even know she was in there, and that's how she escaped. 2 people have stopped me why I came on late because I was talking. 2 people asked me, why is this a cult? That's what my sign says. I said a difference between a religion and a cult is a cult won't let you leave. Scooter Mom is here. Hey Rika, thank you. Yeah, I finally let my phone make me go vertical because the screen is dark when it's yelling at me, and it's too sunny today. There's no way I'd be able to see the chat. So I was like, I'm gonna give it and go vertical. But if you want to watch in horizontal, go through sptv.space. All the stats are down, not just your org, all around the world. That was somebody with a UT shirt on. Are they doing that to sucker them in? Because she looked like somebody I've seen many, many times. They're doing that for the seminar at 1:30. That's why we're here. Hitzel's in the back now. It was supposed to start at 1:30, and we didn't see hardly anybody go in. So I'm kind of glad about that. Unless they snuck them in the back door. So I talked to 3 different people on the way in. That made me late. Coming up the back street, there was 3 staff members surrounding this poor Wingstop guy, talking to him. He looked kind of about it, and they're like, oh, this is great, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what they were saying. Because I stopped, they were on each side of this tiny sidewalk, and I stopped like 10 inches from him, and I said, you're not thinking about doing this, are you? I said, we come down here to protest this abusive cult for a reason. And I said, ask them how much they make per week, because I know darn well he's probably working part-time, makes more than they do. So hey Cinderella, hey Hellgear. Okay. Yeah, give Hitzel some love. She watched my stuff like I go in and go tinkle, because I wanted to get here quick, and so then while I'm trying to get the live stream started, I had 2 other people stop. And they're like, okay, quickly, tell me why it's a cult. And I did. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Hopefully I can talk fast. I just saw today that Natalie had a clip of me on. That was pretty cool. I'm glad she picked that clip. because I say different things sometimes. Sometimes I just start with the child abuse. So, but when they say, why is it a cult? I start with, because cults don't let members leave. Religions do. So, I always try to start with that. I'll be back and forth. Okay, that's fine. I appreciate it. No problems. I'm happy that anybody shows up. I had a couple donations way back on September 9th that I just saw last night. So if you were one of those two, you'll be a sponsor of a video. I appreciate that. And the members are sponsors all the time. But it was actually, I'm glad I didn't, there's a reason for everything. I know I didn't need it on the 9th, but towards the end of the month I did. So, Serge, hello. How are you? They're having a seminar today to try to get college students to come in, so we wanted to make sure we were here for it. So some sort of, I don't know, I forget what it was called. But, so Hitzel's in the back and I'm up here trying to make sure they're not getting any students in. There was a student surge a couple Fridays ago, right before graduation. He was a freshman and they had him bamboozled. And I walked up and I'm like, why do you think they're here? And he said, oh, they want to be part of the community and blah, blah, blah. I go, no, dude. I said, unless you've got $150,000, you'll end up being in the Sea Org. And then I went over a lot of things. And I said, and as I'm talking, you can see him. It was only like 2-3 minutes tops. And then he like ran off laughing in a weird laugh. So I'm like, wow, I'm glad I came up when I did. They are getting people. So then on my way in right now, I was late because in the back, they had 3 staff members surrounding this Wingstop employee. He actually didn't look that thrilled. And I stopped right between them and I said, you're not thinking about this, are you? I go, we come here and protest this abusive cult for a reason. I go, ask him how much they make every week. Because even if he works part-time, he probably makes more than they do. Oh, no problem, Serge. I never thought I would be doing something like this. But like I've said before, my grandkids moved away. I'm retired. If I weren't doing this, gave me a purpose. My point gave me a purpose. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be sitting on my butt at home, having no life. And this came at the right time. Always does. Oh, Hitzel, I get it. Go. More Choctaw coming. All right. Yeah, go cool off. We didn't expect it to be this hot in September. It's ridiculous. I don't know if it's supposed to get 100 today, but it's pretty darn close. But honestly, once it gets to 98 or up, I don't really notice a difference. But, oh, thank you so much, Serge. I have you and I've had other ex-members in my chat, and it helps a lot. I've gotten a lot of great things, ideas from survivors on what to say and how to say hi. Okay, the difference between a religion and a cult won't let you leave. They have, they have 3 levels of members. You have your public that go in and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on courses, but then you have the Sea Org, which is like a military wing of this church. And yeah, the guy that created this religion in 1950, he was in the Navy and he created it. And when you join as early as 12, 13, 14, you sign a billion-year contract and you're not allowed to leave. They have this, they try to get you in under false pretenses, and there's this 200 question thing. I have one, I'll give you. And then at the end, they're just going to say, well, your life sucks, we can help you. Or they'll do that, or they'll do a stress test. It's all a ploy to get you inside to buy a book or spend some money. But the Sea Org, the billionaire contractors, because they believe they live multiple lives, and so we've asked them, well, if you live multiple lives, you've already signed it, why you got to sign it again? But they don't think that hard. And if you're in the Sea Org, you're allowed to get married now, but you can't have kids. And if you're married, they don't care. They'll separate you for 5 years in different states or countries. They don't care. They destroy families. They destroyed Tom Cruise's 3 of his families. 3 of his wives have left because of Scientology. And yeah. So, the first one, I don't know if that's why, but anyway, we've had members escape in trunks of cars. We've had them run off the road. She was on a base in California. Yeah, the Sea Org base. And they have security, okay, so you don't run away. And they make their films there. It's in like a little town in about 90 minutes from the coast. And there was an actor there that wasn't a member, and she snuck into his trunk for 90 minutes on the way back to LA. They didn't even know she was in the trunk. And another guy, same base, tried to escape and on his motorcycle, and they ran him off the road. And the only reason they didn't drag him back is a passerby called the police, and he was allowed to escape. His wife, on the other hand, had escaped separately, and she got caught at the bus station, and they took her back. So yeah. So, like I said, you have different levels of members. Then you have staff, and they do house them and feed them. But we know I don't know where they house them here. I need to find out. In Chicago, they got 8 people to a studio apartment, and they get $50 a week. And if they don't make any money, like you don't go in and buy a book, they get beans and rice, and that's it. And if you and they have punishment called the RPF if you mess up. It's worse than prison. I was in Army basic training in the 80s before they had to be nice, and it was a vacation compared to what they put them through. Yeah, you should search it out. There's been this big uptick in the last year of anti-Scientology channels jumping out. Like people there's about 100 people like me all over the world just filming. And how many religions, close their blinds and their doors just because somebody's out here with a camera? Oh, that's why they're... Yep. Oh. When I show up, we time them to see how fast they're going to close. Wow. Yep. Okay. Because they got things to hide. But I feel bad for the people in uniform in here because they don't know any better. They're victims too, because they're probably 2nd and 3rd generation. Their parents put them in. Because they're not getting new members. Too many people know how bad they are. They might get a few here and there. So who you're seeing now have been indoctrinated as kids. And so there's 2 foundations that will help them escape. How many religions do you know have foundation to help them escape? Wow. So I tell them about that a lot, that they can get out, who to contact, So it's twofold. I'm here to educate and here to let them know they can leave. Why are you so against Scientology? Because of the abuse to the children. Okay. Right. Because they believe they live multiple lives, they don't treat their children like children. They treat them as big beings in small bodies because their last life they might have been an 80-year-old man. Okay? Yeah. And that was an actual conversation. Like, if you leave the church, everybody friends, family, job that's in Scientology, they have to disconnect from you. Wow. So this one girl, Laura, her channel is Laura FM, she was talking to her dad on the phone. It was their last conversation, I believe. And he said, "You're not really my daughter, and I'm not really your dad. You could have been an 80-year-old man your last life, so I don't understand the point." And that was it. Wow. Yeah. I don't care what other religions do until they start abusing children. So, because they think they're adults, there's a lot of abuse. SA, all kinds of abuse. And they cover it up, because you're not allowed to go to the authorities against another Scientologist. Did you see the Danny Masterson trial last year? He's an actor that was on the 70s show. Have you ever seen that? A lot of you younger people haven't seen it. So he was drugging and R-ing women in Scientology, and Scientology knew. He said he did it, but he didn't think it was wrong. One of those finally went to the authorities 20 years ago. It took him 20 years to get him in court. Now he's serving 30 years to life, and he's the first Scientologist to ever be put in jail for crimes in Scientology. And hopefully it's a new day. And there's so many people that said that he was convicted on just their testimony. No, they got the paperwork they have discovery, where they were allowed to get the paperwork from the church where he said, yeah, I did it, but I don't think it's wrong.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen about this place is the South Park episode.
That's all true.
Really? Wow.
Yep. The guy that started this was a science fiction writer. And but the thing is, we found out most people inside don't know that. You have to pay to get to the confidential level.
Right.
And so if you're a SEAL member or staff, you probably haven't gotten there. So even if we say something about Xenu or Galactic Federation, they don't know about that. So, and there's a lot of celebrities that have gotten out, or people who have gotten out that have done that level, OT3. When they got there and found that out, they were like, this is bull crap. But they were so entrenched, their whole family was so entrenched, they had to keep, they call them under the radar. They think it's bull crap, they're done, but they have to show that everything's okay so they can keep their family. So yeah, that's what, I drive 150 miles round trip. But I try 3 times a week because he bought this building 55 years ago on purpose because it was across from the university.
Right, yeah.
And they did for many years, 60s, 70s, 80s, they got a lot of students, you know, especially 60s and 70s during the hippie phase, you know. They really prey on young students who are far from home, you know, don't have any friends, and that's why they call them body routers. If you ever see them on campus, passing out pamphlets, they're called body routers, wearing t-shirts. Yeah, gosh, I wish I knew when they were out there.
Wait, yeah, I do. They gave me like a weird book. It was like nonsense right there.
Was it the way to happiness? Dianetics?
I'm not sure.
They don't give away Dianetics. They want to sell that. I'm actually reading Dianetics right now online. On Sundays we read a chapter and talk about it. Just my chat on my channel. I get a couple survivors of the cult come in and we all talk about it. And I'm just trying to understand the leader, and he's literally laying out in the book what he's doing to you. He learned hypnotism. He studied with, you know about Aleister Crowley, the occultist? He was big in the late 1800s, and then he wrote, they did a lot of black magic. Hi.
So, do you know what happens to the free personality test?
Nothing. They use that to get you in.
Oh.
You take it, then they tell you your life's crap, we can help you. If you want to go in, just don't give them your real information. They'll never leave you alone. But they're not going to do anything to you.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's completely safe, like go in once, give fake information.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Oh, okay.
They don't have like any facial recognition.
Yeah. matter of fact, I had an ex-member on here just a little while ago. He might be gone now.
You said you had a copy of like their personality test?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, really?
They're going all the way to Cedar Park and Leander because we're stopping them from body routing here, and the other girl found 6 boxes in 2 towns now. I went back and got one because we go up to the owner and we're like, you know what this is? And we tell them, like, take it. so I got a whole box in here. What I want to do though is, I never have a pen when I need one. I want to write a website where all the channels are listed, all the survivor channels, all the protester channels. We've boomed from maybe 30 or 40 channels to 200 channels in 8 months. People like me just popping up at all the different orgs and filming, showing that they don't have 30 million members. They maybe have 30,000. So if you go to SPTV, that's what we're called, SPTV.space, there's resources, there's, I'm on there, I'm Miss Kim, SP is suppressive person. You're an enemy to the church if you're a suppressive person. All of Tom Cruise's ex-wives are considered SPs.
Really?
Yeah, that's why he won't have anything to do with them.
That's crazy.
Because that's why Katie Holmes left when she did, because at 6 is when they start getting indoctrinated. And they had her so watched. She had handlers. She had Scientology members as her assistant in her house, and she had to have a burner phone. Luckily, the reason she got out the way that she did is her dad was a divorce lawyer and not in Scientology, and they had a great plan. And she had to, it was like a Mission Impossible thing that she had to do to get out. And so, like, you didn't hear this part, but I did tell him the Sea Org members in here don't get to leave. That's why it's a cult. They will literally put them in a room with a guard if they think they want to leave. They sign a billion-year contract because they believe they live multiple lives, and they're not. They can get married, but they can't have kids. They will literally bus them to the clinic if need, because they're not on any kind of contraceptive because they don't get medical care. And they get $50 a week if the org makes money, and they house them. He's heard a lot of this already. In Chicago, we know they're putting 8 to a studio apartment, and if they don't make money, they get fed beans and rice. We've heard this. I have heard this directly from escaped members. I didn't watch a documentary or anything. I have listened for 2 years to ex-members. You'll find him on there. Serge was on here a little while ago. He speaks out so well. He's on here. They were all actually put in the Sea Cadets at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and we're doing nothing. It wasn't school. It was, they were literally remodeling the place. And like removing asbestos barehanded, and they didn't care. And so they saw their parents once a week for an hour. So, and they've escaped. I mean, they spent 20, 30 years in before they were, it takes something. That's why we're here, is I say things to them hoping that it'll sit in their brain. There was somebody that got out in the 90s. There was a protester from Anonymous that said, why can't you read any book you want to read? And that stuck with her, and she got out. So you never know what's going to ring for them. I tell them about the 2 foundations that were created by ex-members to help them escape. They'll get them plane tickets, apartments, GEDs, whatever they need. So, I don't know. Let's see, what else can I tell you?
I do have that out, but...
Yeah, you've listened to the whole... I'm sticky from sweat.
What's your name?
Miss Kim, that's what I go by.
Okay.
Did I write it on there? Let me write it on this right.
Yeah. We'll go too, but keep up the good fight. It's great
Thanks.
what you're doing.
Miss Kim SP is my channel. We're all pretty small channels, but I'm on the list too. And by city. So if you go to Austin, you'll see the few that are here in Austin. So you can look at it alphabetical or by city on the list. So yeah, and they say that the people that run the foundation say that us protesters are making a difference. They are getting more calls. They can't tell us anything because it's private.
Yeah.
So, and survivors that have gotten out has said keep doing it.
Okay.
Because before, when they would get a protest, it would be like a big protest of 200 people for one day. What we're doing now is every day somebody's in front of these hordes, yelling things at them. Not mean, just letting them know details they don't know. They're not even allowed to talk to each other. If they, at so much as say anything, even questioning Scientology, they're pulled into an ethics handling, given an interrogation. So, and if you make friends with somebody in here and you're close, they will separate you. They will send somebody to another state or another country.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
keep up the good
yeah,
fight.
too sticky to shake hands.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks for stopping, and
Yeah.
pass it on. Not going in, surprisingly, but I've had 3 conversations before I ever went live. So let me go back in the chat. Okay, I read that. Yeah. Still got this much. There you go. This guy back here. The honking was because this guy in the car behind me wouldn't pull up. He had half a car length in front of him, and this person's trying to pull in behind him in a half space. So I went, well, move up. You've got this much space. And he did. Okay, Lana, hi. Where was the Zoom call? I was here for, many hours yesterday in my drive, so I didn't get to see a lot. Hellgear. Okay. I appreciate it. Cinderella. Yeah. Irish Mart, hello. Yeah, 102, is it? Oh, it went up. When I looked when I left, it was 98. Oh, I have a cooler with 2 frozen bottles and I have 4 regular bottles of water. So I have 6 bottles with me. So, he's on now? Okay. So I've had a lot of discussions today. I had 3 off camera. One guy in the back, this Wingstop employee, had 3 staff members kind of on him. He didn't look like he was that into it, but they were talking nicely, and I walked right between them. I had to. The sidewalk was a regular size sidewalk, and I stopped and I said, "You're not thinking about this, are you?" I go, "We come here to protest this abusive call." I couldn't think what to say on the spot. And I said that, and I said, "Ask them how much they make each week." I would have stayed longer, but I was trying to get here because Hitzel was already here. Oh, Serge, you're still here. I had 4 people standing here just now. One I talked to, and another couple that came up. I had 2 before I came on. It's been amazing today. I haven't seen anybody go in for the seminar. We thought a lot of students would have been hooked, but they weren't. So yeah, like I was telling them, I've had a lot of survivors I call y'all survivors. Because not everybody's second, not everybody's third gen, some are first gen. It's too hard. So I just say you're all survivors. And I've been lucky to have survivors in my chat to help me learn good things to say and what not to say. And I have a notebook that I pull out and because I can't remember everything. So I write stuff down every time somebody gives me an idea. And I'm hoping it's working. I'm hoping they're hearing us. I get a lot of students stopping that don't know anything. I won't say a lot. I say 80% at least know Scientology bad. Don't know why. They know not to go in. And then there's about 20% that know nothing. Like 2 years ago, I didn't know anything. I did that deep dive for a year. And I'm not interested in watching the documentary or the TV show. I feel like I've learned so much from survivors and their own words that, there might be details I'm lacking, but for the most part, yeah, I definitely want to watch that. I'll go back. Hey, Amy was in my chat yesterday, and she was the one that was at the council meeting. I looked on the channel list. This is my problem. I don't know people's channel name and their real name. So, or if she even has a channel. Where can I see that? I wanted to watch it last night. I ended up watching Haggis Basher and Eric Rader instead when I got home. I saw drinks, joints, and crafts, and I'm like, I need to see what that looks like. That was funny. Hey, I got out a bottle of water. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right. So, okay. Yeah, I'd love to hear that. The more I can listen to survivors speak their stories, the more I know, and the more I can educate on what goes on. Eric and Janelle were the crafts. I was the drinks. Oh, I was thinking about being the drinks. SPTVfoundation.org. Give them a call. It's ex-members like yourself. That guy's... A lot of the staff that I see come in here are older. Like, at least my age. I couldn't imagine working 80 hours a week at my age. But yeah, that was cool. Like I said, last week, my Saturday night stream went 5 hours till 3 in the morning. For Scooter Mom, who came on with me, that's 4 in the morning for her. That was so then Sunday at 3, I do my Dianetics, so I got enough sleep. I don't have any kids, so I can sleep late if I need to. So I was supposed to be here earlier than I was.
This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I love to see when, it was hard for me to start doing something different, but I'm like, I'm bored at night. My husband's at work and he sleeps all day. So Saturday night, I didn't realize when I started mine that so many people, even during the work week, were insomniacs like myself, already doing live streams. So it's kind of cool. Um, if I put a subject in the line, we never talk about that subject almost ever. We get on a tangent about something. And so I like to see, we do the Scientology, the anti-Scientology stuff, the education, and all that. But I like when people kind of branch off a little bit too and de-stress a little bit. And that's what Saturday night and Dianetics is for me. Dianetics for me is very interesting. Hey Kenny, how are you? And that got warm just while I was talking to them. I got it out and now it's warm already. That's why I have a half bottle that's frozen. Okay. So I was happy to give out those personality pamphlets. I wrote SPTV space on the back, and one of them I wrote my channel, the other one I didn't. So I got half frozen bottle. Ooh. I should get the frozen one out and let it melt. But I have to use the old phone, hot spotted to the good phone, and the good phone's in the cooler when it's hot like this. Last night, driving home, my car was not hot and it was saying my phone was overheating. I'm like, oh, goodness. I'm vertical today, but I haven't really seen anybody new or really any trolls, so I'm usually pretty lucky with the trolls. So my chat's small enough I can handle it. But I love having conversations. Like I've said to other people sometimes, I'm like, I never knew I was born to do this until I was doing it. And I'm like, I'm talking to a building and a screen. And I do just fine. Because I think my husband trained me well. Way back in high school, we would talk at night. And I thought he was this great listener. And I'm just talking. He told me after we were married that he was asleep. I'm like, he'd wake up every once in a while and go, yeah. But yeah. Honestly, I'd rather watch something like that than TV. If I watch TV, it's usually something on demand. I don't have live TV. I got rid of it. I have too much YouTube to watch, which is weird. I used to have nothing to do with social media. I'm not on Facebook either. Whew. But surprising, unless they snuck them in the back, and Hitzel was up here earlier than me. I didn't really notice that many people going in for the seminar. TV just seems so fake. Yeah, I definitely don't watch mainstream news anymore. I find independent journalists that I know, that I've watched over a period of time, and I know they're going to tell me the truth, and if they're speculating, they'll say they're speculating and not give you speculation as truth. So that's kind of how I got into this. For a year, not quite a year, I had gotten into another creator that was doing the Johnny Depp trial, and that got me into watching every day and chatting. I'd never done that before. So when the Scientology stuff came in my purview, I was kind of used to it. Matter of fact, I've kind of been MIA with that community because I've had so much to do here. I try to give them some love every once in a while. but I kind of feel bad about it. I actually flew to Vegas to meet those creators. It's a group. And I happened to already be in Southern California for another meetup. So that was pretty cool. I got to meet Lewis from Nerd Report and then the Popcorn Planet people. So that was cool. I told Lewis next time I'm in Southern California, I'm going to take him to dinner. He put me on his channel when I got swatted. So I thought that was pretty cool. Because he thought it was hilarious that I'm yelling, I'm a grandma, they're not going to arrest me. And I was right. But it wasn't called on me personally because I had a security guard here watching my every move. So the only thing they could do is call for shots fired at this location, just to mess, and 6 cars show up. But literally, the guy gets out of the car, walks by real fast and stops and goes, have you been filming this whole time? I'm like, yeah. He's like, did you hear any shots? I'm like, no. And he could see nobody's running and screaming. He's like, he visibly went and knew it was bullcrap. So, if there's anybody new in the chat that don't know much about Scientology or why I'm here protesting, ask questions. That's what I'm here for. Another thing that I do when the doors are closed is if I see a big group of students especially come in, I'll just yell something like, David Miscavige drives a $200,000 Bentley. I'll do it right now. Your leader drives a $200,000 Bentley and you make $200 a week for 80 hours. Make that make sense. Like that. And I'm hoping, hearing that, walking by, they'll be like, that can't be right. And they'll look. Or I use the gourmet seafood or the Italian shoes. Or they do have, let me turn my back around. You don't want to watch me all the time. So they do have this table. They're so lazy. I've never seen an org where nobody's ever standing outside. Even when I come up and they don't know I'm coming. The doors are open. The table's sitting there. Nobody's outside. Now I do know that they're spending their time body routing in the suburbs, like Cedar Park and Leander. That's where we got these pamphlets from. They're sitting them on people's counters. I don't think they're asking all the time. Because where I found mine, it was kind of hidden. And the people that worked there didn't even know it was there. And I think sometimes they're not asking. They're just slipping that in there, I think. Hoping. And they can say, oh, well, we gave out this many pamphlets. Somebody was listening to Hitzel. Is she getting any? Cause they're trying to sneak in the back. Is she getting anybody? How long have I been here? Not that long. Okay. So, okay, I got quite a bit of traffic, so hang on. Your leader, David Miscavige, eats gourmet seafood brought in. You make $50 a week and eat beans and rice. Make that make sense. Hey, Scooter Mom. No other religion has a dirty tricks department dedicated to punishing tormented performers. I gotta write that down. I'll forget. That's a good one. If I get people long enough, I do get into the fair gaming. But yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I tell them, sometimes I'll tell them, you know, why aren't you allowed to leave when you want? I go, when my kids didn't want to go to my church anymore, they just quit. they just stopped going, is what I say. If you want one, I've got one. If you want one of the personality tests, I have them. Oh, right. If you want to see what it is without going in. Okay, let me write that one down. That was a good one. That's a good one for public too. Department. Dedicated, I like that word. Dedicated to punishing. And tormenting. Good words. Teen former members. Yep. I'm gonna fix my tripod, so look away. I'm gonna shake. I've got it sitting wrong. Keep trying to kick it. There we go. That's better. I can get closer now and see the chat. Yep, that's a good one. I like that. I'll use that when I'm like on the corner. So last night was graduation. So if I still have any ex-members in here, I'm curious because a way more number of people in all black showed up. Literally in turtlenecks and long sleeves. I didn't get that. Than I've ever seen before. The only other person I saw in all black once before, well, not the only, but he had an IAS shirt on. And it was supposed to be graduation, and I didn't see anybody go in for a graduation. I didn't see hardly any public come. So I don't even know if they had a graduation. Could they be doing lower conditions because their stats are down? Or do they dress like that to do like manual labor sometimes? Just curious. Because I've seen people in black here and there, but it was like a ridiculous amount of people. Like, I want to say 8 or 10. Now, one of them I did see with their jacket, their uniform jacket with them. So I didn't get that if they're wearing all black. When I first started coming in February, everybody at the front desk was in all black, which I thought was weird. But I thought at that time I didn't know their uniform that well, so I just thought, well, maybe that's their uniform and they just took their jacket off. And then I found out about the vest. So that was weird.
What are you talking about today, ma'am?
It's like same thing I'm always talking about.
Same thing?
Yep.
Let me speak.
Every time. It's not on you, it's on me.
Oh, I got it. Good morning, people. It is Rhea's son. I'm here to fight the corruption and the control that they have put in all the people, and especially me. Last night, they tried to kill me again. People thought I was dead, but here I am, still standing. Am I right, my sons and my daughters?
Okay. Did Scientology do it?
Did the Scientology?
Yeah, them.
So they created the Scientology so that you guys have something to believe in?
Honey, I don't believe it. You're not here for, you don't understand what I'm here for.
Oh, what are you here for?
I am protesting a human trafficking cult that has been around for 70 years.
Oh yeah, so yesterday I was raped by an alien named Org, and they controlled my me. But today I wake up as a grown woman given the authority by God to walk with the people. So everybody stand up and walk.
Okay. That I tried to turn it so she wouldn't be in it. I feel sorry for her. She's obviously off her meds. My husband told me about dealing with schizophrenics at the hotel in North Austin. They literally believe this stuff. He had a guy that ran out of his room, said there was snakes in there. He had another guy that swore up and down there was a guy on the roof in dreadlocks following him, and it was a telephone pole. So there's nothing you can say to people like that. So now that I know for sure what's going on with her, I'm not even going to try to have a conversation with her anymore. I wasn't sure that first time. I know. I was trying not Because I don't want to, you can irritate them too. You don't want to make them mad either. She was way too close. Next time I'll make sure she's on the other side because I didn't know she was going to. So, yeah, next time I'll be facing that way. So she's on the other side of my wagon. I hope she gets some help. She doesn't look like homeless. She seems pretty clean as far as like what I see other homeless, and she's not ever carrying a bunch of stuff. So it leads me to believe maybe she has a place to live. I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to set them off. They really do that stuff. There's nothing you can say to change it. The first time, she was kind of argumentative about the Scientology, so I didn't know exactly what was going on with her. Now I do. So now I know. So, yeah, she definitely needs her medication. But, yeah, I've never had I did have a hallucination once, but I was like super, super exhausted. So I knew it was a hallucination. One time, I couldn't imagine like that. I can't put myself there. But I get that it's real to them. So, yeah, I hope she, because this is a couple days in a row. So she's obviously been off her meds for a little while. So there was a guy my husband dealt with in North Austin that ran a business, had schizophrenia, and didn't take the meds. He didn't like how they made him feel. So he knew when he saw something weird that it was fake. He taught himself. Now he would go on drug vendors, and he rented the scooters in North Austin. And he had people that would go pick him up, and he made all the money. So when he was doing good, he stayed in the really nice hotels, and when he was doing bad, he was at the motel that my husband was security at. They had to have armed security there. It was that bad. And so if you go to a hotel and they have security, they're either high end and they have security, and if they're low end and they have security, you need to ask why and not stay there. So, yeah, luckily he's explained it to me, and I had kind of an idea of, he usually is the same way. He doesn't argue with them. He talks to them, and he's like, I'll go in. He's even like, he went in, he said, hey man, the snakes are gone, you can go back in your room. And he did. So my husband learned how to work with them. Because a lot of people that stay at the cheaper motels is because they can't get an apartment. He had hardworking people there that there was a fire in their apartment, and they literally worked full time to pay. They worked full time, but then they would get the room and then go back out and panhandle because the room cost so much. I felt bad for them. It all it takes is something like that for people to be down on their luck. I thank the Lord every day that our house was paid off, and we did a short loan but paid more. About 2017, before this downturn hit. That's the biggest thing that's helped us, is not having to worry about a roof over our heads. My husband could lose his job. We'd lose a lot of things. Well, we wouldn't lose our house because he gets retirement. So, hey, love Maddie. I think we've been stalking each other the last 24 hours. Man, nobody's going in and out. I have been trying to come at different times. Today we came, Hitzel's in the back. Well, she went to cool off. She'd been here longer than me. And it's super hot today. I'm not seeing a lot of traffic because it's not lunchtime or dinner time, so I'm literally seeing almost nobody going in the door. But that's okay. I have talked to so many people today. It's been awesome.
Oh, you're so ready. You look like you about to get gangbanged by 5 traffic.
Definitely some sort of game on or something today. I find it hard to park on Saturdays. Fridays during the day is kind of hard. I like to come in late on Fridays now because I leave so late. It's like straight shot home. No traffic. Man, my hands are so sticky. I hate to walk off when I'm vertical. You know, I haven't had any new people like say they're here or any trolls. So that's weird. I have these alcohol wipes because the sanitizer wipes, the sanitizer is what makes my hands so sticky. This should get it all off. Shoot. Ooh, purple. I love purple. Guy was, you gotta see it. This guy's in a purple suit. Oh, see him up there? Purple suit, purple shoes, purple hat. I'm wearing purple today. We're wearing the same color. Well, let's do some people watching since nobody's coming in. I see a lot of people in game day attire. I must be near a stadium that I don't know about. I see a lot of people after a game come this way. Yeah. That was the big... My husband, so when he retired, he had already taken some school in building trades. And he decided he wanted to be an addiction counselor and started regular college for about a year and a half. And because they diagnosed him with ADD when he retired and put him on meds, he was an AB student. He hated high school because he didn't know what was wrong. Anyway, when he started work. After that, he started working the North Austin with people, and he realized at his age, I don't think I want to do that now. It's like, now that he's seen how much energy that might take, he just didn't have it in him. So he's just stuck with security. It's hard to start a new career when you're 43, started the college, so it's going to be a couple more. He would have been 45, 46 years old before he started. I wanted to go back to school when I was 50, but there's some people going inside that are not members, you could tell. They were like, should we go in? So hopefully they don't give them their real information. Don't give them your real information! They will follow you for 30 years! Hope they heard me. The door still doesn't seal, but it doesn't have the crack anymore. We got a breeze, thank God. Let's see. I'm gonna get. Okay, here we go. Hang on. I don't like to yell when somebody's right in front of me because I might make them go deaf. Your leader, David Miscavige, gets handmade Italian shoes, and you make $200 a week. Sometimes. Make that make sense. I should have said if they pay you, not sometimes. I'll say that next time. like what Hitzel does is she'll come in and she'll do live for a while, and then they'll go off and do something else, and then they'll open back up and they'll come back. Because they don't let their members in the Sea Org leave. They will literally put them in a room with a guard. We had one escape in the trunk of a car. They ran one off the road. So if you're in the Sea Org, now the people that go in civilian clothes, they're given their hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't get treated that way, but their slave labor does. And the Sea Org sign, they have to work their whole life. A lot of times their parents will put them in at 12, 13 years old. They'll take them out of school. And so they've had no education. They don't know anything about the outside world. I'm here, I let them know that there's 2 foundations that'll help them escape. How many religions do you know that have foundations to help them escape?
Not many.
Right. So they have 3 levels of members, and it's the Sea Org that they don't let, and they're allowed to get married, but they're not allowed to have kids. If they get pregnant, they'll take them to the clinic. And,
Wow.
right.
That's insane.
Yep, and I've learned all this from survivors who have YouTube channels that are telling their stories. And so in the last 8 months, about 100 protester channels have started doing what I'm doing all over the world, at all of their orgs to talk to them and talk to you and show them that they're being lied to. They're told they have 30 million members. That's 210,000 per org. I see the same 20 people going in and out all week, every week. They maybe have 30,000. And what you're seeing now is not new members. They're second and third generation. Their parents joined in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, when they didn't have any way to check it out. And then they're indoctrinated as kids. They also, what also makes me drive 150 miles round trip to do this is the child abuse. They believe they've lived multiple lives. So there was actually a conversation on a phone, because if you leave the church, your family has to disconnect from you. She was talking to her dad, and her dad said, well, you're not my daughter, and I'm not your dad. You were probably an 80-year-old man your last life. We don't need to talk, and that was it. And so they look at them as adults in small bodies, and so there's rampant abuse, and it's covered up by Scientology because it's a high crime to go to the authorities on a Scientologist. Did you happen to hear about the Danny Masterson trial last year? So, have you ever seen the 70s show?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. That's Danny Masterson. He was drugging and R-ing women for over 20 years. And the church, it was because some of them were Scientology victims. They weren't allowed to go to the authorities. And one did, but it took 20 years to get him to trial. And so they had 3 that were part of the trial. They had 2 victims testify, and there's at least 5 more. And the reason he got convicted is they got the paperwork from the church where the girls told the church, and he wrote out, yeah, I did it, but I didn't think it was wrong. Yep.
Wow.
And he's now serving 30 years to life. And that was the first Scientologist to be brought to justice. And the Jane Does, the victims, went through hell. Because they have a special department called OSA, Office of Special Affairs, to go after enemies of the church. They'll hire private investigators. They'll go through your trash. This could happen to me if they wanted to. The prosecutor in that trial, one of them left the trial. They quit. Because they call it fair gaming. The leader actually wrote out that you can do this, and they tried to break in his house. They blocked his cell phone and internet service. They were going through his trash and following him, but he kept on, and he got him in jail. And this happened to the Jane Does. They poisoned their dogs. One of them died. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Thank you so much for educating
If
us.
you go, let me give you this real quick. These are the personality tests. We got them from businesses they dropped them at. If you want to learn more, 200 channels are on this one site called sptv.space. Space. And resources and everything. And it's also separated by city. There's other people that are here. I'm Miss Kim SP. But you can find resources, and all the survivor channels are on there. I've never watched a documentary, and they are out there. I've learned everything from their mouth to my ears, and I didn't know anything about it before 2 years ago.
Wow.
So,
Thank you so much.
welcome. Thanks for listening.
Have a great day, of course.
Awesome. I hope everything's okay.
How you doing?
Hi. Are you guys? Am I still on here? My chat slowed down. That's all. It's okay. It's middle of a Saturday. I didn't expect that many people. Okay, thank you. In my opinion, Scientology and Hollywood are one and the same, just because of all the serial crimes, SA crimes. The pedos go where they think their crimes will be ignored. And Cinderella, that's been a thought of mine on many occasions, that now that we're speaking out so much and talking about how they protect predators, I'm worried that predators will join Scientology. And that's the only thing I'm worried about. But yeah, because the more we talk, I'm sure it will happen. It maybe not a lot, but I'm sure it will happen. But yeah, that's my only worry. But we can't stop. I can't let that, can't let anything stop us, because it's gonna work. It's gonna take time, but this is gonna work. It's going to get, we know there's a senator that talked on it, like he knew about it recently. I think Aaron had that clip on his channel, or Natalie did. And the more we're here and the more channels there are, somebody, maybe a senator's aide, will run across one of our channels and say, hey man, you need to check this out. Every grassroots effort, started small. And there's so many grassroots efforts that started small that made big changes. DOJ has their hands full. Oh, I love the keyboard warriors, people that are, I would not know how to do that. I would not know how to I wouldn't know how to do any of that. I'm lucky I'm able to do this. I am not used to being on the computer. That's why I'm so bad about editing or doing my videos I want to do. But I can do this. And it helps me when people like Nora or AA or CC that were in my chat tell us that it's working. Keep doing it. I will. And people like Tori that said a protester asked her why she couldn't read any books she wanted. And I don't know how many years after that it took her to get out. But that's why I'm hoping maybe the things I'm yelling about, like how much they make and stuff, started out for them but I realize that's a good tool to say when a group is coming. People that might not stop and listen, that's something basic. Like they wouldn't understand if I started using Scientology terms and stuff. SPTVfoundation.org will help you escape. That was a Sea Org. And I don't see hardly any Sea Org. They never come outside. Or they're not coming through this door. She was young too. Wow. That hurt my heart. She was young. Younger than my daughter. What was I saying? I don't remember now. Anyway, there have been big changes in our history that started with a small group and started with, just somebody protesting or somebody speaking out or standing on a street corner. So I hope it's worth it and I hope it works. Somebody asked me, I was getting interviewed, said, what do you hope to see in 10 years? And I said, well, I would be happy in 10 years if they were having hearings in Congress about this, trying to shut it down. or, you know, hearing from survivors and hearings, and it being on C-SPAN that everybody could see, or YouTube. That would give it so much more relevance, and they need to do it before something really, I mean, they waited till other cults imploded, or it took branding women in Nexium for them to believe that they were being abused. Just because you're not being branded in here doesn't mean it's not as bad. So I'm gonna keep coming as long as my truck holds out and my back implant holds out. But even though I could be out here anyway without it with my chair. So I just wish we would get a cool front in here. It's not unusual for us to wear t-shirts all the way to Halloween. That's the only thing I can't handle, because I used to be inside 8 months a year, and I was having to take vitamin D because I was never outside. Guess what? I don't have to take it anymore. I'm outside, and I like it. I didn't know that I could actually have a little bit of fun with this, and talking to people and meeting people. I'm that person that'll talk to the cashier at the register over something silly. I'm just that person. So, like I said, I was born for this. I'm talking to literally no person right now. Just a glass door and you guys. But it works. Like, the guy that came up, both of them didn't look like they knew anything about Scientology at all. And I'm glad I was able to give them out those pamphlets. Matter of fact, I'm going to sit here real quick. With my pen, because I have several of these. I'm going to go and write the sptv.space in my channel on the back. And the found, that way they can go find, you know, maybe a creator they like to watch. So sptv.space Miss Kim SP and SPTV Foundation .org or .com. There we go. Cinderella, I'm here. I enjoy. You have really done great work. Thank you, Cinderella. I appreciate it. Yeah, just say hi every once in a while so I know there's people there. That's okay. Because I know people are like me, that I sometimes put it on my earbuds and go do laundry or something. So sometimes people aren't in the chat. Because I can see how many people I have. But that's fine. We all do it. I've been on sptv.space recently, but I didn't really look around. Are they doing anything to show us, because we asked if they could have a list of channels that need watch hours. So I was wondering if they had done that yet. I'm gonna get some business cards made, and I want to figure out how to do one of those QR codes that takes you to maybe a page of just information, basic information for people, and put it on my sign or on a business card. I saw somebody doing that. Have you guys seen the QR codes on the headstones at graves? That was amazing. You can hit the QR code on the back of a headstone and you get a video of that person. And one of them, it was a couple, an older couple, and it showed them together. It was so awesome. Alright, I've got a few filled out now. I might have to get my chair out here soon. I'm not sure. Pitzel said she's going to come back and she's going to do some more chalk tech. Kind of quiet today. Normally, lately when I've been coming on Saturday, I try to come around lunchtime so I can get the members that's going in and out, or the staff and stuff. Like I said, I don't think they have as many Sea Org here as they did when they opened. They may have gotten more staff. Either that, or we just don't see them because they don't come outside. Do we know, does anybody know if they're being housed in here or somewhere else, the Sea Org that are here? If they only have a handful, I would think they have the space to house them here. Be cheaper too. Ooh, somebody's perfume smells really good right now. Somebody walked by with some heck of perfume.
Hi.
Hi. Just want to know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This question.
Why is it a cult?
Yeah.
Religions you can just leave. A cult won't let you leave. They have 3 levels of members, and they're Sea Org members, which is a military wing. It was he created it after the Navy. When you sign up with them, sometimes 12, 13, 14 years old, you sign a billion-year contract. Now you can get married, but you can't have kids. If you do, they will take you to the clinic. And we've had people escape in front of cars. We had a guy run off the road. They would have drug him back, but a passerby saw the accident and called the authorities, and he escaped, but his wife got caught at the bus station and drugged back. And I've heard this from the people themselves on YouTube channels that have channels now, and have told of their, and this is after 20, 30 years in the cult since they were kids. And they think they live multiple lives. They don't find, a lot of them don't know this story. You have to pay to go up these confidential levels, like Tom Cruise. I don't know if you know him. He's a member. He's like OT8. Well, they don't find out till OT3 about the fact that they're from another galaxy, and they were brought here. This is a prison planet. And they believe that they're called a thetan. We would call it a spirit or a soul. And it was floating around, and they go from body to body. When they drop this body, they go find a new baby body. So there's rampant child abuse. That was really what brought me, was the child abuse, because they look at them like adults in small bodies. They put them to work 8, 9, 10 years old sometimes, and they get no education. There's 2 foundations that'll help them escape. There's lawsuits right now. The one that escaped in the trunk of the car, she's trying to sue them right now for human trafficking, because right now their thing is they want to go to the non-English speaking countries and say, hey, you can come to the United States and work with us. They get here and they take their passports, and they're afraid to speak out. And they work 80 to 100 hours a week for $50 a week. But that's why I don't care what other religions do until it starts abusing kids.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, if you are interested, this is their personality test. We got a box for them at a business. SPC.space, all the channels that are doing what I'm doing are for survivors of the cult, and you can get some resources there. your life is trafficking. Have a great day.
Hey, we just wanted to ask you.
Yes.
We just went in.
I saw.
We've never been inside.
Yeah, that's
all
fine.
we know about them is like.
Tell me you didn't give them your real information. I yelled. Did you hear me yell?
We came up with fake info before we went in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but like, what's like your whole thing? I think I've seen it a few times.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been doing this since February.
Because they opened it in February.
Yeah,
Wow,
I drive 150 miles round trip because I heard this was opening in February across from the university. He bought this building 55 years ago on purpose. Yeah. So you know that. I'm gonna turn this on me because it's on the door right now. So, do you mind being on camera?
I don't know.
Okay. Because they like to see who I'm talking to. I have a small chat, but it's pretty cool. Sometimes I get
Is this
survivors.
Instagram live stream?
Yep.
Wait, what's your Insta?
I'm Miss Kim SP. I'm not on Instagram. I made one, but I don't have anything on it. I'm on YouTube. It's on the pamphlet. Miss Kim SP. Did I give?
No, you can give this is their pamphlet.
Oh, here. So this is same pamphlet. This is SPSP.space. It's all the channels of survivors, protesters, everything, and resources. This is my channel. This is the foundation that will help them escape. Now, how many religions do you know that need a foundation to help them escape? So, and it's created by ex-members. So, but yeah, they love bomb you at first. They get you in. They want you to buy books. They try to sell you a book.
Yeah.
Or a course. Yeah, they want to make.
Is this like a money laundering scam?
Oh yeah.
I heard they like eat kids and like they like
No.
traffic people. Like what?
They do that, and they do abuse children. That's what brought me here, because they believe they've lived multiple lives. So they look at them like, okay, your last life you were an 80-year-old man. You need to act like an adult. They treat them like adults. They put them to work like adults. So there's a lot of abuse. And SA, and so and a lot of times they'll join the Sea Org, the branch they won't let you leave out of.
Yeah.
Sometimes 12, 13, 14 years old. And their parents put them in it. So what you're seeing in here now is mostly not new members. They're like second and third generation. They've been indoctrinated since they were a kid. So they don't know. They're not allowed to talk to each other. They don't know what's going on at other orgs. They're told that they have 30 million members. They maybe have 30,000 tops all over the world, because we have cameras all over the world showing who's going in. Nobody's doing services and stuff. And so, but yeah, that the escapes that they had to do was ridiculous. And if they think you want to leave, they'll put you in a room with a guard. They call it blowing if you want to blow. Like, you know, they have their own terms for everything. But then you have staff in here. They only make $200 a week if they
So
get
what do
paid.
live off of?
Well, the ones they house, if they don't make money, they get beans and rice, and they don't get their $50 a week. Those are the ones that they
They
house.
have $50 a week.
Yeah. And in Chicago, we know there's 8 people to a studio apartment. We don't know if the Sea Org is housed in here. There's just a few Sea Org. They have the silver vest, the
Do they
gold
just, like,
vest.
sleep in the bathroom or something? Like,
No, they'll have a room, but they do like 3-level bunk beds and stuff. They've actually gotten pictures of those through the window, so they exist. Plus, the ex-members have told us the conditions, and the conditions are bad. They're really bad. And so, if you're staff, which is 2 to 5 years contract, they're supposed to get $200 a week, but if they don't make money, they don't get paid. So they either have a moonlighting job after 80 hours here,
80 hours?
or more,
Okay.
or they have a spouse that has a job. I had a guy stop by, said that he did join staff here, and he had to go to another church to get fed because they weren't paying him, because they weren't making any money. Yeah, it's all about money making. The guy that started it was a science fiction writer.
Yeah, I know. He
Yeah.
like comics and stuff.
And he actually told somebody, I'm not making any money on my novels. I need to start a religion to make money. So he studied hypnotism, he studied black magic, how to control people, and then wrote Dianetics in 1950. And then it turned into Scientology a couple of years later.
Have you ever faced like harassment from them? For, like...
No. They're told to, I'm not very confrontational, and they're told to ignore us. So the ones that are a little bit more aggressive in their protesting have had interactions, and they do try to they love to call the police. They use them as a weapon.
Do the police support them?
In LA they do. They're in their pocket because they've been there for 50 years, and they hire them for their events and pay them triple rate. So for 2 months in like November, December, they called false calls on they were auditors. They didn't even have signs or anything. They were first-time auditors 24 times in 2 months. And the cops came every time. They've had them arrested on false charges, knowing that it'll get dropped. They don't care about that. It's all about harassment. So they put our people in jail. They'll definitely arrest them on a Friday, so they're in jail all weekend. On stupid charges that were filmed and you could see weren't true. We've got a lady in Chicago about my size, and the guy came up at her, and he called the police on her and said that she touched him with her arm or whatever, and they went in and looked at the video, came back out, and arrested her because her boob touched him.
What?
Yes, she's in court right now over this. Yes. And the point is, she'll probably win. That's not the point. The point is to try to bankrupt your enemies and harass them. And they have a special department for that. A special dirty tricks department that hires PIs. They go after people. They poison their dogs. This all could happen to me, but I don't think they're that worried about me. I have a small channel. But the ones that are really big, that are bigger, they really do harass.
Damn.
And ex-members, they won't leave alone.
Are you part of like an organization? Or
Not really, but we have like a group of 200 channels that are all working towards the same goal, and I've never seen that on like YouTube or social media. There's about 100 channels that are protesters like me that are just standing here every day. They've never had to deal with social media before. And so, see how they close up? I show up and they close up. They close the doors and the blinds. How many religions do you know that close up just because I'm standing here with a camera? I mean, it's actually pretty inside. I didn't get to go inside.
Do they let you inside?
Huh?
Will they let you inside? Oh,
I could go in once, and then they'd probably CT me with the police, but I'm not going to bother, because we started the week before they opened, so they already knew who I was. The other people will go in.
Is it like dangerous? Like if you went inside, would they like chain you up or something?
No, they'll just call police on me and tell me. They do have security sometimes, and they'll be like, you're trespassing, you need to go, but they know they won't manhandle you usually. Because the protesters in LA, they get a lot more crap, and Chicago's in their pocket. APD is not. They did try to swat me one day. They called shots fired, and 6 cars showed up because they had a security guard the first couple weeks, so they couldn't call on me. They've called on other protesters saying they have a gun, they have a knife, all this other stuff, so I don't carry none of that, so they can't get me. But, so they could only do it on this look. That weekend, they swatted almost in LA for a couple of the protesters that weren't even protesting, they were at a party. See, that's how they know where they are. 24 cop cars and 2 helicopters showed up. And they knew, they have a police scanner, and you could hear the police scanner, they say, oh, well, she's the blonde that's always in our office making complaints. It's probably a swatting. So why didn't just 2 cars show up and make sure? No, they still did it like that and put them in cuffs for 45 minutes. It's just about harassment. So we have hundreds of hours of LAPD looking totally corrupt. Totally. And Chicago. But here, we're luckily, they don't really do big events here. We're like in the middle of nowhere. LA is a bigger base of theirs. They have like a block of little. Clearwater, you want to know the money-making scheme. It's about property, because they don't have to pay taxes. They got tax-exempt status.
Yeah.
They own 93 buildings in Clearwater that are empty, yes.
Oh,
just to keep people away from their area. And they put false fronts in them, and it's like North Korea. They do that in North Korea to make it look like a fake town, and it does. Protesters go down there, and it looks like a movie set, because it's a ghost town. Nobody's there. But they have these beautiful buildings. So we're just hoping to let them know they can escape, educate you guys, and we're trying to get our government to take notice and revoke their tax-exempt status because it protects them too much. They're like, they're a church, we can't investigate them. Yeah.
Well, very noble efforts. Nice talking to you.
I'm sweaty. I'm sticky. So,
It's nice talking to you.
well, I appreciate you listening and stopping, and definitely tell people, because 2 years ago I knew nothing. So that's what I'm here for.
I know Scientology was like a religion. So I was just like,
They don't have a deity.
I know they
Yeah.
have that thing. I was like, the video's kind of like silly.
It's only called a church to protect them, really.
Oh,
And
taxable.
yeah, that's really it. And so they've bought so many properties that have been vacant for 18 to 20 years. Oh crap. Oh, Connecticut, I think, started making them pay property taxes because they weren't using it for the church because it's been empty for 18 years. Big property taxes, like over $100,000. So, all right, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping.
All right. Hopefully the weather gets cooler.
Oh, we're hoping. We're hoping. Hey, Davies. We should hold a seminar in front of the building on how to not have C or B. I know, right? Nobody went in. I didn't see anybody, really. I didn't even see, like, members or students. Now, Hitzel was here. I got sidetracked talking before I could go live. So she may have gotten some people on camera, and then she went around the back for a little while. But I assumed they had gotten some students really hoodwinked into coming. Not really. I think most of them have seen us and know that their stuff is bullcrap. I'm going to be here for open mic night too next week. Next Wednesday at 6:30 Central. I'll be here before it opens. Because open mic night is a big deal in Austin. Austin is big music capital. It's supposed to be the music capital of the world. Nashville does the country. And so there's a lot of music venues, a lot of up-and-coming artists that are just starting, and they'll go to an open mic night. Davies, when you recoup from the last few days and get a chance to see my email, I can also print small stickers to stick the list. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't check my email. I got home, oh my gosh, late. Like, I didn't sit down till 9 o'clock. So somebody, Eric Rader and them were doing a live stream, and they said, hey, you want to come on? I was like, no, I'm a sweaty, gross mess, and I got to go get in the bath. Yeah. I got to get better at checking the emails, and I have been trying harder. Because people are actually using it. I actually have a Google phone number I'd planned on putting on the channel, too, so people could just text me. I might do that. I will never give anybody's phone number out or email. Even people who emailed me and I talked about it, I didn't get specific about anything they said. I'll never do that. That's the security clearance in me. I've had 2 security clearances. That was interesting. I gotta keep it on the door. So they were holding hands, so they must be married. He was in all black with a black jacket and turtleneck, and she was in a gold vest. So are they both staff? How can they afford that? Unless he's a public and he was just dressed nice. Security clearance equals sec check. Yeah. And my last job, they wanted to see my credit report. I worked on the base in the police station doing the police reports. Some of those are CID reports, so they're sensitive.
Anything interesting?
Not really. It's people stopping and talking a lot. Did you see anybody go in for the seminar?
Not a lot.
I didn't either.
I did see like maybe some newer people, but who knows if maybe it's like another
Yeah.
other places.
Yeah. Last night, I saw so many people all in black.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't look like anybody was here for graduation. So, do they ever cancel the graduation or don't have one if nobody did anything?
No, I just know that it's 6:30.
Yeah, I didn't see hardly anybody, but people all in black and members. So I moved over to there, then I moved back there, and
This one right here, he's the landlord from the other place. I forgot what it was called, the Hancock Center, not the Hancock.
I don't know the other place. What do you mean?
The other place that they were renting out before here.
always wondered how they ended it. If they ended their leave.
Last Friday he was out here with
Do you think he's from Scientology?
Yeah.
Oh. So, this gentleman on the bench, Hitzel, was telling me, is the landlord of the strip mall when they were over there. And she said she saw him before with Scientology books, and he's here now. So they must have got him hooked in. So that's an interesting
Yeah, I was on
development.
Scooter's report because I was playing errands.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch that.
Yeah, I was playing errands.
I'm bad with names. I can't remember names and stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah. I need to do that too. I have a Bluetooth speaker with rechargeable. I could start playing from my other phone stuff on it. She said she was playing Aaron. People do it. Maybe I'll do it. Know all about those clearances. Yeah. That is wild after seeing Pearl at Full Mel Gibson too. I know. Because I thought he said to Pearl that they were ending their lease early. And that he didn't know or something, I thought. Or maybe we were guessing. I don't remember. Seems to be okay then. He's here.
So,
Poor
such
guy.
a Scientology?
Huh?
Do you like them or do you think they're
No,
weird?
we're protesting.
Protesting?
Yeah.
They're weird, right?
Well, it's the fact that it's the child abuse. They believe they've lived multiple lives, so they believe their children are adults in small bodies, so there's a lot of child abuse. And then, because the difference between a religion and a cult won't intervene. Their Sea Org members, they have 3 levels. Their Sea Org, which is their slave labor, sign a billion-year contract, they have to work their whole lives, $50 a week. They house them, but they don't feed them very well. And if you try to escape, they'll come get you. And they'll run you off the road. We had a girl,
I think that he's part of them.
Tom Cruise, and we used to think that maybe he didn't know about the bottom, because he's up here being wined and dined by the leader. But no, he has used the Sea Org on his properties for slave labor when he's worth $300 million. Because he's best friends with the leader. So the leader's like, here, have some free work.
They're always open or it's closed?
No, they're open. They close when we get here because we have a camera. I'm like, what religion it closes up when you're just out here with a camera?
Yeah. But you get that good entertainment.
Yeah. If you're interested, here, I wrote, this is their bogus personality test. SBTV.space has all the Survivor channels too, people talking about it, and some resources on there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for stopping. That was cool. Easier to brainwash than to pay him. No kidding. That makes total sense. Total sense. I had a lot of people stop today. You guys didn't get to see them all. I had some before. I ended up going live late because I was talking to people. So, no big deal. I'd rather talk to them. They had a Wingstop guy in the back with 3 staff members around talking to him, and he was listening. I mean, he stopped, but he didn't look, that interested. So I told him, I said, you don't want nothing to do with that. I said, you're not thinking about this, are you? I said, because we're here to protest this abusive cult. Ask them how much they make per week. They ain't gonna tell them, or they'll lie. Gotta get some more water. Yeah. Because I don't know if he's really going to get anybody to take over that spot they were renting. It's across from a cemetery. It's not going to get a lot of traffic. But he probably did. But I'm still curious as to why I saw so many people in all black last night. They were either all in trouble or doing some sort of manual labor. So I might ask Aaron in his chat. Crap. I just poured water in my wagon.
Google Lisa McPherson. Scientology killed Lisa McPherson.
Hitzel's back. Yeah, she's obviously giving them a pain in the neck because they called the cops on her. They haven't called the cops on me. I guess I don't mess with them enough. That's okay. Yeah, I found out being in the back last night, the sidewalk is narrower and everybody was getting off from day shift after, I guess, the graduation or whenever they get done. So I had a lot of people go right by me. So I can't do it during the day. It's too sunny over there. But when I'm here in the evening, man, I can't wait till it cools off. I can come anytime I want.
They want it just be close to everything. They stay up too late.
And stand anywhere I want. The moving around. What was funny is the first time I did that, I think it was last Wednesday, I was over on the side of the building for a little while, and they thought I was gone and started opening the blinds and was like, oh, whoops. Thank you. Right on. I wonder what they're in. They're wearing button-up orange shirts. And I wanted to be a UT fan. I need a football team because my football team's in Ohio. I just couldn't do the burnt orange. Couldn't do it. Any other orange color I could have been alright with. I just could not do it. So I'm just going to stick with my Buckeyes. So she's doing some more chalk tech. There's the ambassadors coming in, probably giving them cold water and letting them use the bathroom because she's doing this out here in the heat. So they're safe pointing them. One of these days I'm going to catch one of them to talk to. Oh, somebody smelled fire. Smelled good again. David Miscavige, your leader, drives a $200,000 Bentley while you make $200 a week. Make that make sense. I'm getting groups that something must have let out. I gotta find out what's around here, what they're coming from. Because if I know something's getting out near here, that's a good time to be here. Most of them don't want to stop, but it's a good time to yell things and get in their ear. You know what? I'm going to have to get my chair out. got it without turning it upside down on this nasty ground. Alright, I gotta move the camera, so look away. Okay. Let's see. The chat needs to be lower. Still too high. Hold on. Working on it. Make sure it's straight. Well, it's straight to me. It's not straight. There we go. We'll put it right there. I'm sitting on an angle. Okay. Alright. Sorry guys, I had to sit down. Two days in a row is difficult on the legs. I was trying not to get the chair out, but I did 3 hours last night, I think. And then I got my late night tonight. Dianetics tomorrow, but don't forget. I'm trying to come up with a subject for tonight. I like to have something to talk about, although we sometimes never do. I was watching Y-Files recently. Hold on. We must be near either a hospital or a place, an ambulance place. The fire department. Thanks, Cinderella. Here I am. Well, I found out those couple months I was sitting was actually hurting me more. My back was hurting more, and I couldn't figure out why. And I realized it was kind of weakening my back, so I went back to standing, and it did make a difference. It started strengthening my back again. So I'm gonna do it as less as possible. I can't wait till it cools off. I hardly had any cool weather. February we were, I think, maybe a little, but not much. Thanks, Cinderella. Yeah, it's a little boring today. Every time I hear a siren, I think someone's getting swatted. I know. It doesn't do that to me because almost every time it happens here, it's an ambulance or a fire truck. I think we're close to a fire station, but not. When the police came, they came from farther away. I didn't even hear them until they were almost here. I'm not worried about them swatting us anymore. They can't prove we've done anything. They tried to get her for harassment because she was here when they were coming in for the morning, and she was bugging them. And they tried swatting me that one time, but they were dumb. They did it when they had a security watching us all day. You can see, I didn't put that part in the video because I was rambling something stupid. But 5 minutes before I heard the sirens, you can kind of see at the edge of the camera, the security guard look at the door and go inside. So they called him inside. And it happened to be on a day that the two that was always here was some guy I'd never seen before. So it doesn't bother me. Look at this. It's 103 outside. I have a sweat jacket in my cart because of Nance telling me it was cold in there. And I have 3 days of my prescription meds. And I don't carry anything they can get me for. Which is weird in a open carry state. And I don't bring it at all because I don't want to get stolen out of the car. So my husband wanted me to keep my pepper spray because of the two guys that got aggressive with me. But yeah, I set up my stuff. You guys can't see always, but I do if they're. I sure do.
I see it right here.
Well, those are alcohol. Oh yeah. Oh wait, is that the right one? Okay. Okay. Yeah, because over here I got one that's sunblock. There you go. And I got alcohol wipes too. I am a germaphobe, and I was like that before COVID.
Yeah, well, I just went in the trash to see what was in there. They were handing out flyers earlier. I can see them everywhere.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna head out now.
I'm not gonna be here much longer either.
Yeah, at least it started. It cooled down.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can feel the wind.
I was just talking about that. I'm like, man, I can't wait till it cools off. But you know, we're still wearing T-shirts and at Halloween half the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, earlier that got me like overwhelmed.
yeah,
So yeah.
I know.
Take care.
All right.
See you next
That's
time.
why I bring at least 2 frozen bottles and 4 regular bottles of water.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And I've gone through 3 whole bottles already. So if you ever need water, just ask.
Got it. Okay. Bye.
All right, you have a good day. Yeah, she got here before me too. And then I like it when she does that though. When I'm not here, they'll leave and go have lunch or something, and then come back and make them close up again. I think it's hilarious.
This bit.
You got any questions? I'll let you know. I don't think he realized I was a protester. So he says, no, thank you, because he was laughing about the table. Yes, Bob, I'm in Texas. All hell's new. Yep, we're in Austin. Are you the Bob that's been here before? Or new Bob? Because I'm vertical today. Yeah. Oh, my daughter moved to California with my grandkids. She's in Southern California near Riverside. Oh, you're new. Well, we're here protesting a cult, not a religion. I did a deep dive into Hayam 1911, Scientology equals cult. Do you know about Scientology, Bob, or do you want to know why I'm here? They're big in California. We got a lot of protesters in California and LA and stuff. But a bunch more of us have popped up. In like 8 months, we've gone up to 200 channels of survivors telling their story on YouTube. People like me coming here on a regular basis to let them know inside that they can escape and who to contact. There's 2 foundations. And I educate people on the street and new people like you. Because 2 years ago, I knew nothing about Scientology. Not one thing except Tom Cruise was part of it. Well, Tom Cruise is just as culpable as the leader. Corporation cult, you know. It's all about money making. Yes, it is. Thank you. Yep, it is. And we're just trying to draw attention to it by coming here regularly. And right now, because of where it's at, L. Ron Hubbard, the original leader, bought this building 55 years ago because, let me turn it around real quick and I'll show you. This is the University of Texas. And he bought this on purpose, and one in Chicago for sure, because it was near campus. And they are trying to get their hooks in our young people that are here, away from home, lonely. They go body routing. They'll go walking on campus giving out pamphlets, and they do, like next Wednesday they're doing an open mic night. Today they were doing a seminar. I forget what it was called. So that's why we're here. For the 20%, 80% because of social media know what you know. But there's that 20% like me that know nothing, that go by me. I talk to a lot of people that don't know what's going on here. So we're hoping that we're stopping any, just vulnerable people. I was listening to John Atack today where he said vulnerable doesn't mean weak. They target my Latino people too. Yes, Bob, they do. Especially right now. Hitzel just left. Hitzel 505, I think is her number. That's her channel. She goes around the corner to the back where they try to sneak in. Like a week ago, they were trying to sneak in a Hispanic family, and she started talking to them in Spanish. I can't speak Spanish, but we're in Texas. I need to learn. But yeah, that's where they've changed their sites to, because they're doing that in LA too. They're setting up tables and booths in Hispanic neighborhoods. They are luring non-English speaking countries. They're like, hey, come to the USA, work for us, it'd be great. And then they take their passport and they don't speak English and they're stuck. We've heard this from people who have gotten to escape. And that's all illegal. It's human trafficking. So yeah, we've got a lot of Spanish speakers trying to come out and help out with that. It is modern day slavery, absolutely. Yep. They sign the Sea Org sign a billion-year contract, have to work their whole lives, aren't allowed to have kids and get $50 a week. And they're housed in horrible conditions. The list of human trafficking, I will read it off to them sometimes. Lives with employer, lives in horrible conditions, taking of identity papers, I have to read it off sometimes. My brain isn't that great. But yeah, glad you're here. We can take anybody that's just given us their watch time is helping the movement. And the movement, thank you, is getting bigger. And our goal is to get their tax exempt status revoked and get hearings in Congress. The problem is they have so much freaking money and throw it around. They don't give it to them inside. Money never goes downhill in Scientology. It only goes up. Do you know, I found out recently that, so this building was bought 55 years ago, paid for. Then it was remodeled. They were in it for a while, and then they had to leave. And then they built a bunch of money from their members to remodel it. They opened it in February. I didn't know that when they were reopening these ideal orgs, they have to pay them rent. The church. The org has to pay rent on a paid off building. Make that make sense. And I had a gentleman come by that I told him to please come back by. I'd love to talk to him. But he was walking by. He said, yeah, years ago, he signed up for staff and didn't get paid and had to go to another church to get fed. And of course, then he left. So, yeah, they had a Wingstop guy in the back when I was coming up. Because I ended up coming on late because I was talking to people all over the place. It was awesome. 3 of them were standing there. I've told everybody this already. And I had to walk through them. And I stopped and I looked at him. And he didn't look that enthused. Like, oh, yeah? No, he didn't look like that. But they were giving him their spiel. And I said, you're not thinking of doing that, are you? I said, we're here to protest this abusive call. And I should have stayed longer. But I'd never been in a group of them like that, so I was kind of uneasy. And I said, ask them how much they make each week. Because I know even if he worked part-time at Wingstop, he probably makes more money than they do. Because they make, what, $800 a month? Which is not a living wage in Austin. Cindy, who might have to make a change, she might have to sell her house. I took her up to where I live to look for a place to rent because you can't afford it down here. Thank you. In California, they hide behind Christianity even though they don't believe in Christmas. They have Santa Claus and attract families. Yep. Now, the good thing about that is the LA protesters closed down their Hollywood Boulevard Test Center where they would do that. And they closed them up they started in November. Well, October-ish. But they had a group out there, and they were getting the Spanish families, let me say if I say it, El Una Secta. What was that first part? Es Una Secta? That. Hey guys, she's back. Oh shit. I hit it too many times, sorry. She just went inside. I wonder if they're trying to, yeah, Will is a beast. He's a hero, yeah, you know what's going on. But I still repeat the stuff I'm saying because I know going vertical, I'm going to be in some new people's streams. And I've done it. I'm in shorts. And I'll see somebody and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And I've subscribed to a couple people that I've found that I would have never found any other way. So I try to keep talking, and I do repeat myself because you all know what's going on. But you have to be engaging or be saying something when people are, going through their shorts. My husband's addicted to shorts, and I'm getting fed up with it because he loses sleep over it. And it's set up like TikTok to get you addicted, and I told him that. When I do shorts, I give myself a time limit because it does it to me too. You're like, oh, this, you get funny, I end up getting the like heart-wrenching stories because it gives you what you watch, like the rescue, the dog. Thank you. Anyway, that girl that just went inside, it was in my feed early on. And she is off for meds. Let's see what I wrote it down. Her name is Rhea Sun. At least that's what she said it is. And she was talking about aliens and stuff, and they should be having a very interesting conversation right about now. Unless they're safe pointing her, they give the homeless people cold water and a place to go to the bathroom. So that way they can safe point them for the future. I'm going to be loud. You've got earbuds in. Your leader, David Miscavige, eats gourmet sushi while you eat beans and rice. Make that make sense. It's amazed me the lengths they will go to get people inside. I'm finding out more and more all the time. Like even here, they had this, I forget what it was called, but they had the sign out. Some seminar to help you do better. And that was supposed to happen nobody came in. I thought they were going to get some students that wanted to come in and learn how to study better or something. Nobody came in. But I will be here Wednesday night, 6:30 Central, for their open mic night. Because this is a big music town. And they will probably get some people to come in for open mic night that won't realize what it is. They have a really pretty cafe in there. I had one student, early on last spring, she went in to their cafe to study. It's like a cafe. You go in and you pay for a drink.
It'd be like
so she thought it was public, and she comes out and said they would not leave me alone. I just went in there to study. Like, you went in their doors. You made a mistake. So we talked for a few minutes. That was a good conversation. I had a lot of conversations today. They're really good. Let me get Scientology in frame for people scrolling by. That's why when I go vertical, oh my goodness, is that a cop? missed her. Well, guys, I've done 2 hours, and I'm starting to poop out. So, glad you were here. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate anybody that gives me time. I'm doing my late night stream tonight at 10 Central. I haven't come up with a subject, though. I was thinking about doing something from Y-Files. I'm talking about, I like aliens and all that kind of weird stuff, too. We did talk about that one night, and I got some people over to watch Y-Files. That is a great channel. He will tell you the conspiracy theory or the story, and then at the end he'll debunk some of it and tell you which parts probably aren't true, or but he does some stories that he says turned him into a believer. He did a compilation of, it was 4 hours long. We were watching sections of all the stories that he researched that turned him into a believer, which I thought was really interesting. He would be somebody great to get. He's going to do true crime, and I would love to get him to do the Danny Masterson case, and maybe delve into Scientology. I think I might email him or go into one of the members only streams and mention that. That might be a really good case. He's starting a new channel called The What Files. He's going to go in, but he's not the one that's going to be posting it. But still, that might be another. Anybody that'll do a story on it will take it. So, I'm still rambling because I have to get up and put everything away. Oh, nice e-bike. They have these bicycle cabs. We rode in one on our anniversary. Man, that poor guy had to go. This is called the Hill Country. So we have streets, some streets that look like San Francisco. Not downtown as much, but they're hilly here. Going back to the one parking garage I have to go to now is all uphill. So these pedicabs, man, they got some strong legs. Bye, Cinderella. Yep, I'm gonna go now. So if you guys want to join my other streams, you're welcome. If not, I'll see you next week out here. Bye.